I ain't with a lottie-dottie, my shawty coming for bodies, ayy. I don't got no type of problem, but I can solve them, tryna to complicate it. Bitch, I'm a dodge your face, it. All of you hold your basic. I know they ain't on me, better than ever, so how can you hate? I ain't with a lottie-dottie, my shawty coming for bodies, ayy. I don't got no type of problem, but I can solve them, tryna to complicate it. Bitch, I'm a dodge your face, it. All of you hold your basic. I know they ain't on me, better than ever, so how can you hate it?
Hello and welcome to the Be-Cray podcast, episode 12. We're back. I've had a long hiatus due to many different reasons, including a little bit of illness and also a slight lack of creative drive after getting over that. But now we are back for a very special episode with someone who I've meant to really talk to quite a while ago, but just scheduling conflicts and other things getting in the way. I blame Warzone mostly. We have Limnir, or Matt. Welcome, dude.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be 22 soon, next week actually, so I hope you've bought me a present, Archie.
Yeah, we will leave the PO box in the description for sure.
Exactly, yeah, I'll need to get a PO box first, but I'll be on that.
Yeah, we expect some donations, people. No, but on a real note, me and Matt both became friends originally because we have mutual friendships with people in the OTS Discord, specifically people like previous guests, JD Anime, King Chubbs, and Jin or Shay. So yeah, that's how basically probably over 2 years ago now we first met.
Yeah, I think it would have been about that, yeah.
And yeah, you know, we talk every now and again. We still haven't actually met up yet, but I'm sure we will remedy that soon enough, especially when COVID's been all sorted out.
Yeah, something always seems to pop up, doesn't it? Right when we're about to meet up.
But yeah, tell the people a little bit about yourself, you know, what you do for work, just spitball some things.
So for the last 2 years, well, a year and a half, I've been working part-time at the co-op, mainly because of COVID. I've been training during that time to hopefully join the Navy. Finished 2 of my tests, waiting for another one to come back. But it all got put on hold because of COVID. But, you know, that's everyone's story at the moment.
Yeah, true.
But hopefully, yeah, once I get into that, all my efforts will be going that way. I've just finished my last workout and I'm feeling pretty dead from that. So I'm ready for something where I don't have to lift my hands up. Definitely not playing Warzone.
No, you can just exercise your brain.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, tell me, why the Navy?
Yeah, so my family's got a bit of history in the Navy, and even I'm surrounded by people that are experienced with it. The lady that lived over the road, sadly, she passed away earlier this year, but most of her family was in the Navy. I've heard so many stories from my nan about my great granddad and everything and all the stuff he used to do. And then I remember I was talking to Shay when we were in college. This would have been about 4 years ago, and we'd always planned to join the Navy. I think everything changes after college and people want to do different stuff and everything, but I went back to it after I got my after I finished my apprenticeship. I did my apprenticeship in IT, and yeah, ever since I left there, I realized I wanted to do something a bit more active. I didn't want to be sat at a desk all day. Which I think a lot of people have that.
You wanted something to challenge yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get that where they decide they're done with being at a desk and they want to find an active job. Yeah, it'd be hard to get in, but I'm excited for it.
Is there a specific sector of the Navy that you're most interested in being a part of?
So I wouldn't go into submarines. I have no specific claustrophobia or anything. It's just I don't like the idea of it. You can be under the water for
months.
Weeks. Yeah, exactly. So I've applied for a warfare officer position. An officer position was something that I was just barely qualified for from my college degree. So I'm
Okay.
happy about that.
Well, yeah, as long as you meet the minimum requirements and then you put the work in at the right time,
Yeah.
it definitely can happen. You just have to push yourself, and everyone needs a little bit of luck in their life. But I think
Yeah.
it's a really it's an interesting thing. I don't know many people who are pursuing that avenue of work. I've got a friend called Aidan, who's recently joined the army,
All
and
right.
his whole thing was he's been saying for years he wanted to do it, and then he finally did it. And then when he was like just getting the ball rolling, funnily enough, COVID happened. But I
Yeah.
think within the last like couple of weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks, they've started that up again, and he's
Yeah.
gone to his like headquarters or whatever, and they're really starting that moving again. So yeah, it's always interesting to hear from someone who's passionate about the forces, and who wants to be a part of it, to challenge themselves and to do something for their country. I think it's really admirable. To pardon the
Yeah, and
pun.
if anyone's interested, it is amazing how quickly you can improve. So you might think, oh, I wouldn't be able to meet the requirements and everything. I didn't do much before training for it, and it's amazing how quickly you can improve your timings at the 1.5 mile run and everything. How quickly certain muscle groups develop, and you realize you are actually quite capable of it.
You're quite interested in the human biology, I guess. Pushing
Yeah,
pushing
I've done a
yourself
bit.
to improve.
Yeah, I've done a bit. My brother's been helping me out as well because he's gotten quite into it. My younger
Oh, that's
brother, he's 17 now.
you do like
Yeah,
workouts together.
yeah, we actually do. It's I was
That's
showing
good.
him
That's good.
a
It's good to
meme the
have a
other day
workout
about.
partner.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't keep up with it as well if someone wasn't doing it with me.
Yeah, that is
But
true.
yeah, I showed him a meme earlier today. It's you see sort of anime characters and different cartoons and comics of
Mm.
characters with biceps bigger than their head.
Yeah. No,
Incredible. Makes me want to do an 8-hour arm workout
yeah,
sesh.
they bench press 450 like it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. They're lifting it with their pinky finger. It's got muscles on it.
But I mean, talking of anime, I will ask you something about that a little bit later on. But
All right.
firstly, to feed into the meme which has befallen myself and my channel, let's take it a step back and let's talk about your childhood and earlier life. Uh, where did you grow up?
So I've always lived around Petworth, different houses, but always the same area.
Absolutely
And
beautiful area, if I do say so myself.
thank you. My birthday, interestingly, was actually on uh, solar eclipse. I believe it was a solar eclipse. Um, and growing up, I started at a school nearby in North Chapel, famous for sadly being pretty inbred.
Right.
So you got the mick taken out of you at school if you were from North Chapel.
Right.
But I moved in year 5 to Petworth, and early on I was not big on school. I got in trouble a lot. I think one time I actually annoyed my teacher so much that she ripped up my workbook in front of me.
What?
Yeah, she
Oh
was
my
not
god.
happy. I don't know I can't remember what I did, but she was definitely not happy. She ripped apart my book in front of me, and I got in a lot of trouble. And I've been in loads of trouble before that as well. I think I was a bit of an aggressive child. I used to get
You're
the
a wild
kids to.
child.
Yeah, so I remember specifically when I was in maybe year 2 or 3, really early on. The year 5s, who were the oldest group of kids, they'd been working on some projects. They would do stuff like swimming projects or setting up scarecrows near the playground.
Yeah.
And the scarecrows, to be honest, looked pretty good. But I remember getting in trouble because I got everyone to pick up a massive pole and charge at them, destroying them in the process.
You just brought a lighter into school and burnt them all.
I wasn't quite that bad. I wasn't
No,
quite
no.
that bad
Yeah,
that
you're
early
not a
on.
pyromaniac.
Yeah.
So that was like your sort of earlier formative school days. What about like more into secondary school and college. Did you enjoy that? Did you hate it?
Yeah, so just before secondary is where I started picking up at school. So until I was 7 years old, I couldn't even write my own name.
Right. Okay.
Bear in mind, I thought my name was Bob. So not being able to spell Bob is pretty bad. But I got a teacher. I remember Mr. Banks, and we all had to sit on the floor, like real old school way. You have to sit on the floor, and he writes on this flip pad, this massive flip pad that's on top of a whiteboard. And I don't know what happened, but I suddenly picked up everything: maths, English. By the end of the year, I was in the gifted and talented.
Something just clicked, and you just understood it.
Yeah, and I remember they also got me into a system where, because I was having loads of fights in the playground and stuff, they put me in an anger management system where we had a room with fishes and stuff in it, and I had to leave if ever I got in a situation like that where I was feeling angry. And
so you can take yourself out of the environment and go somewhere where you can just chill and not have to worry for a moment.
Especially since I was losing a lot of my own time. I was constantly in isolation in early secondary because I still had some problems in early secondary. Always in detention. I just felt like I was losing a lot of my own time.
Right. Yeah. And then
so it was better to remove myself from it.
adding to the frustration as well.
Yeah, to be quite fair to Kid Me, one of the reasons was because the kid that I had beaten up that day had stolen a rare Ho-Oh Pokemon card.
Oh, no!
Yeah, and he wouldn't admit to it. So can you really blame
the bastard
child Matt? How could he do that? How could he do me like that? Saving up for my rare Ho-Oh.
That's amazing.
That's a bird I'll never get back. But yeah, early secondary was quite good for me after that. It was hard to keep contact with all my old friends. Everyone going into secondary, you get put in different groups and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, made some new groups of friends that, to be honest, I don't think friendships from secondary always last. You have to put a real effort into it. I think most of my friendships now come from college, which is 5 years after secondary that I went there. But really, we've put the work into communicating and always meeting up, and it's the only way you can keep that going.
Yeah, of course, especially with the world as it is right now.
Yeah, especially always on. I know the guys are always in the same Discord and everything. It'd be sad if I ever go on there and no one's on.
Oh no!
Yeah, exactly. That's depressing.
Everyone's just left.
Yeah,
you're the only one in the server.
I'm the only one there. Like, guys, did we create a guild on the new game yet? No responses.
Well, no, it's basically that now, but everyone's just on Warzone.
Yeah, true. Oh, it's so sad. I want to download Warzone, but it'll take me 14 and a half days.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, it would take me 14 and a half days to download it. And that's straight days, not me doing it for 8 hours a day. It has to be straight 24 hours.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so that one's not going to happen. I might go to one of your houses and download it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might have to take the PC to Shay's house or something, download it, and then go home.
It'd be way faster.
It literally would. Oh man. And college itself, did you enjoy college?
Yeah, college was great for me. College was where everything sort of took an upturn. I was not in a good place after secondary because I just couldn't keep up with it. The work wasn't enjoyable. I initially thought that I wanted to be a journalist and I was doing English language, etc. But I thought that it'd be a failure if I dropped out, but then I realized this wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. Eventually, a teacher came to my house and they're like, do you really want to be there? Because I'd made it super obvious that I didn't.
Right.
And that was the day that I decided to quit and start a college, some college education.
And what made you choose the college that you did?
I was really into IT. I don't think I thought it through that much. I think that's the same with everyone else that was in the IT class. Shay, Jack. I don't think they thought it through much. They just knew that they liked IT.
Very much my situation as well, because I did the same thing as Jack for the first 2 years, and then I couldn't get into the third course.
Yeah, I think as long as you've got qualifications, there's a lot of stuff you can do with just whatever you go into, as long as you finish it. It's I remember the first day I went to the college. I'm pretty sure me, Shay, and Jack were talking to each other ever since like the first day that we were there, and the reason was because Jack was wearing a big titty anime t-shirt, and I was so in awe
Never
of
changed.
this man's sheer presence and audacity. He was a Chad who gave no ounce of a shit towards the fact that he may be seen wearing this monstrosity.
And that's why we love him, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's so great, because he just does not care. He's wearing this anime titty t-shirt. The next day he's in a Naruto one or something, and then he was in one where it's all the Shonen Jump characters. He was my idol.
Yeah.
I'm still not at that power level.
Senpai Jack.
Yeah, I'm definitely still not at that power level. We had a so this morning, without being told, there was a lady came to check our electric in the house.
Right, yeah.
I was phoned up by my mom. You got to get up. Lady's going to be there. I had to look around my room, and for those that don't know, it's covered in anime figures, anime wall posters. I had to take some of the posters down and turn them around because I'm too ashamed of who I am. I'm not Jack's level.
That's brilliant. Dude, you'll as soon as you like learn Japanese, and when you've been to Japan, you'll be there, bro. You'll be there.
Yeah, let me just tell you, she did not spend much time in this room. She probably thought that the figures were looking at her.
Because like, where have I come?
This is the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
But yeah, like you overall, college seemed like it was a really positive experience for you. Like you say, you were very close to Shay and Jack very early on.
Yeah.
What about Joe? Because in Shay's interview, he said for maybe even the first year, you guys didn't really talk that much. But tell me about how you got to know Joe more.
So I went to college with Joe for like a year and a half, and by the time I met him in Discord, I didn't remember who he was. That's how much we spoke to Joe when we were at college. I barely knew he existed. He must have never spoken to us whatsoever. We sort of knew one of the guys he hung around with at the time because he was a big character in the college group that we were in, and he was always talking. He was always part of it. I'm surprised that I didn't remember him because so much went on in that class. I take it they already told you about the time that one of the teachers was made to cry.
Yeah, because of some homo.
It was my PC.
It was
on my PC. I went to the toilet. I think I don't know. I don't know what she thinks of me now, but I went to the toilet. When I come back, they've done this thing, and they did this to everyone, so I knew it was going to happen, where they get up some gay porn on your screen that will just zoom across the screen at all times. So you can't click off it. Anyway, I finally managed to
implicate you in the dirty deed.
Yeah. I finally managed to click the X and get it to shut down. And here's the big gotcha. They had it as my wallpaper.
Oh god.
So it didn't work at all. She comes over and just sees the wallpaper is just like the 3 fat old dudes like going at it.
And it was just too much for her at that point.
She leaves crying. She gets another teacher to come in, and it's a male teacher, and he's trying to tell us off, but he just can't stop laughing.
Oh dear. I do rate that though. At least he had a sense of humor.
He had a sense of humor. I feel bad for her, but I mean, come on, it's just a bit of gay porn. You've never seen it?
No, that's brilliant.
Maybe she hadn't. Maybe that was a first for her. That was her entrance into that world.
But speaking of erotic entertainment, let's talk about gaming.
Oh yeah, erotic entertainment in my games. That's all I play.
Yes, there we go. Matt, what would you say was the first video game you got when you were younger? Because as with the majority of my guests, we are all pretty big gamers.
Yeah, I'm a gamer.
We're
Rise up, gamers.
we're cool gamers.
I think probably the first ever console I got. So we had a Dreamcast and stuff, but I never ever played it because what did you have? You had like the fishing game.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Big up the fishing game. Everyone had it. But I think the first ever console I got that I actually played was a Game Boy Advance. Not even the regular Game Boy, the flip up one. And
Yeah,
on
yeah,
there, I
yeah.
used to play the SpongeBob game. It was like a side scroller, and you had to go through pretty much the entire events of the SpongeBob movie.
That's cool.
I'm not sure if this was before or after the actual movie came out.
Can you
I think
remember the name of the game?
I wish I could. All I can remember is the one level where I'm trying to get over the now the women, you can do anything. And they're going through the monster area. Yeah.
That's amazing.
But other than that, I'd say the first game that I played that had an actual impact on my enjoyment with gaming was Grandia 2. I'm not sure if many people have played it. I don't think it's that popular.
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
So it was a Japanese RPG game translated into English, and I've replayed it recently. I don't remember it being half as pixelated as it is.
It's mad, isn't it?
It is mad.
You think when you're playing these games as a kid, you're like, oh wow, that's in 4K.
Yeah, look at that
When you
ultra
go back,
realism.
it's so bad.
I can almost put my hand into the radiating screen of my TV.
Is this real life?
But that game was really big for me. It was the first story-based game I played, other than, I later on got a DS and I was playing some games on there. But that was on the PS2. Grandia 2 on the PS2, and if anyone wants to play it, it's pretty much like Final Fantasy X.
Right.
I'll just leave it at that and not spoil anything, but it's basically the same game.
No, it sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah, I had a great time. I had a great time playing that game. It really set me up for all the games I was going to play later on. I played a lot of story.
I was gonna say you got started early with the story-based games. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not playing multiplayer games, I'm playing a single-player story-based one. Right now, I'm playing Detroit: Become Human. No spoilerinos.
Absolutely amazing game.
It is like just the idea of a game where the story changes.
Yeah, obviously, I won't say any spoilers, but can you reveal whereabouts in the game you are? What's the last thing to have happened for you?
Sure. So, spoiler alert: I'm at the part where Marcus has just mounted his rebellion and crashed into the Cyberlife Center, and Connor has just gone to speak to the guy who created Cyberlife. And he tries to get you to choose between shooting this android or keeping it alive, but he won't tell you anything.
Quite the moral quandary.
Yeah, so it's he said it was a take on the Turing test, but this time he's getting a machine to decide whether another machine is alive and has value.
Did you make the decision?
I did. I shot the machine.
Wow.
I needed to know the answers, dude.
Wow. You're willing to do whatever is necessary to get the job done.
Exactly. I'm not sure if I'd do it in real life, but he said he would only tell us the answers to our questions if I shot the android, so I didn't think twice.
Yeah. And obviously, anything Connor does, Hank is fucking annoyed. So.
Yeah, exactly. He gets pissed off at you either way.
No, it's a brilliant game, and I really hope you enjoy what's rest to come. What is still yet to come with that, because it is bloody brilliant. Obviously, Grandia 2, one of the earlier games you played, one of the ones that gave you the biggest impact. But what is the one that's given you the biggest impact? If you could, what would you say is your favorite game of all time?
Oh, now those are two very similar but different questions. So, my favorite game of all time is either Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. It's very much like Grandia and Final Fantasy. or Skyrim, just based on the fact that I spent so many hours playing it.
Oh my god, same.
Yeah, I've spent probably 600 hours playing Skyrim, which for me is a lot for a single player game.
It just works.
Yeah, and it's funny really because I bought it on release day, tried it the first time and hated it. I hated the game, didn't want to go anywhere near it for ages. It felt like nothing happened. I didn't like the perspective of it. And I went back to it maybe 3 or 4 months later and had just completely different experience. Loved the game. The only thing that's happened before is not with a game, but with Boku no Hero. Watched the first 3 episodes, hated it, went back to it later and loved it.
That's something that I hear semi-regularly about that show. Like, you either love it or you hate it, but maybe it's because people haven't given it that extra go. I haven't actually watched it myself, but...
Oh, it's really weird. The first time that I watched it, I hated it. Couldn't get into it at all. Second time I watched it, I cried on the first episode.
No!
Yeah, completely different experience. I don't know how that could happen.
Yeah.
Maybe people need to retry stuff more often.
It's funny how, like, when you can go back to something, whether it's you've grown in a different way as a person, or if you're just paying attention to other details, that it can elicit that different response. That's awesome.
I mean, come on, guys. His mom wanted him to be a hero. How can you not cry?
So here we go. We have Grandeur 2. Let's say Skyrim as the favourite game of all time. Now, people can play games for a long time, but it might not be their favourite. Now, with my friend Ed, he'd played over 25,000 hours of Gmod.
Really?
What would you say is the game that you've put the most hours into?
Ooh.
Because I have an idea of what I think it is.
Yeah, I'm not proud to admit it, but I've spent 10,000 hours playing Dota 2.
Let's go, champ!
Yeah.
No, you're a big Dota fan. You love to see it.
I booked off this month from the 8th to the 25th to watch the international tournament, and it's been delayed to COVID, so I'll have to book off the time next year. I'm happy to have a break anyway, but it's really sad that it's been cancelled.
So why Dota and not League?
So Dota was just... I started when I was 16 in 6th form, before I dropped out of 6th form. And all of my friends at the time were playing it. I'd never played a PC game before this.
Right.
So I bought a PC pretty much to play this game, even though I had never played it before. And I didn't enjoy it the first few times playing it. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was going to be like an RPG where my friends told me you level up and you gain abilities and stuff, and I thought that was going to be permanent.
They lied to me.
Yeah, they lied to me. But no, you have to level up every single game, and it's just each game is within its own thing. But I didn't know about League before Dota, and after I discovered League after Dota, it seemed a bit toned down. Because I've spent so much time learning Dota, there's so many more mechanics to abuse in it that when they weren't present in League, I couldn't adapt. So it's like, I could fix this. I could fix my lane right now if this mechanic existed, but because it doesn't, I don't know what to do. It seems very straightforward. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win in the lane. But yeah, after I started at 16 years old, I must have been playing 12 games a day at the time. And these games can be up to an hour long. And I remember before I dropped out of 6th form, I was spending a lot of time just playing the game at school. Very unhealthy, wouldn't recommend it. Much better time, having a much better time now playing it casually. And I'm a much higher rank playing it casually.
Yeah, it's good. Like, if you can get yourself too ingrained with the competitive aspect, you can sometimes find yourself doing worse, which is ironic.
competitive games, they breed a toxic mindset as well, I think, for CS:GO, League,
definitely.
even games like Apex, etc. There's always a scapegoat because you're not on your own. You've got teammates to rely on. It's very easy to blame them instead of blaming your own play.
So to any fans of MOBAs out there, what would you describe as your sort of general play style? Are you like a mid player? Do you go in
Yeah,
the
so
bot lane?
I play majority mid now. I used to play bot lane, safe lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm better at the mid lane. My mechanical skills gotten really good, just muscle memory.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm now the second to highest rank that you can get.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is divine. I only got that recently, but pretty happy with that. I don't think I'm going to try to go any further. Just I've spent a lot of time playing the game already. I just play it for fun.
You've achieved like one of the best ranks you can get. Now you can just try and obviously still try and win every game, but you can sort of relax yourself a little bit more and try and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mainly play party games. Like I've learned that it doesn't really. I'm obviously never going to go pro. Not at the rank that I am now. Not with the amount of hours they play every single day, and with the amount of time I put into it. So playing it for fun, just being happy that I'm as good as I want to be at it, it's good enough.
And what legends would you use? Or characters?
Yeah. No legends, thank you. I play Meepo. It's very micro intensive.
I tried to catch you out.
He got nerfed recently, but
Right.
I still try and win with him.
I swear that cat gets nerfed like every other day.
It gets nerfed every patch, pretty much. It's because it gets abused by people smurfing.
Right. Okay.
Notably me on my smurf. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to take a bit of a break from Dota for a bit. I think I've spent too much time playing it. There's other games to play. I say that, but I'm running the game right now on my PC.
As I literally look up to my my Discord channel saying playing Dota 2.
Yeah.
You see, you're actually conducting the interview while you're playing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on a second. I'm trying to win. No.
Yeah. Like,
communicate! When we started talking about it, my instant reaction was to start the game up. That's why I've got so many hours on it.
Bro, the amount of hours people can get just for having the game idle. So
yeah, it's just
I wouldn't worry too much. And plus, who the hell cares? If you're passionate about something, like
yeah,
I'd say go for it. But no, it seems like you've really worked it out, like in terms of being able to have that competitive edge, but also not beat yourself up too much if things don't go your way. So that's
I don't want to put people off it because I saw someone talking on the subreddit for Dota the other day, and he was saying how he's going to prove that he can become a pro player and everything, but he just wasn't that high a rank, and I didn't want to put him off saying, "Oh, you're probably not going to be able to if you're that rank at this moment." But you know, I want to see where he gets with it. He'll probably come to the same conclusion as me, but hey, maybe I'm wrong.
Absolutely. Moving on from gaming, let's talk about film and television.
Okay.
Would you say that you have a favorite film?
Oh, I think there's a contest between two films.
Okay.
Kid me would have said the Scooby-Doo movie with the Hex sisters and all that. Hex
yeah.
Twins? I don't know. But adult me says it's either Avengers, not Endgame, Infinity War.
Good choice.
I actually think it's better than Endgame. Controversial choice, but
I actually do as well.
I mean, there's just more happens in it compared to the last one. I mean, there's more loss. No spoilers, I guess.
It's way more impactful, I think.
Yeah, there's way more. There's way more going on. The ending leaves you pretty much traumatized and really looking forward to the next one.
Which obviously, Endgame was also fantastic, but it's just being in that moment just trumped the outcome of the other one.
It'd either be that or it'd be Warrior. And
Warrior.
yeah, so it's a story about two brothers.
Yeah.
They got split at a young age, and they've got to try and earn the biggest prize for a MMA tournament. And this is going to be the biggest one in the world. There's a huge cash prize. One of them needs it for his house, to keep his house and for his family and stuff. And the other one, I think, just wants to prove that he was the best and prove himself to his dad, who was like a deadbeat dad.
Is this the film with Tom Hardy?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy plays the younger brother. And it is so good. I'd recommend it to anyone. Just try and get through the first sort of 20 minutes where it's setting it up. It's not as bad as, Batman versus Superman. We have to sit there for an hour before it gets good.
No, because I've never seen this film, but I've seen parts of it. I've seen reviews and stuff, and I'm looking
it's very
here now.
good. I've watched it a couple of times.
It's got an 8 out of 10 from IMDb, which is really good. It's got 83% out of 100 from Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 5 out of 5 from Empire magazine. Like,
damn, I didn't know that, but
with this, like, because I've very recently transitioned into doing my own retrospectives about movies, and I will be doing retrospectives on other things, but in movies in general, I'm learning a lot more about the film reviewing and etiquette that goes into these things, and they are very high reviews.
yeah, you've already done one on shout out to the Beverly Hills Cop one. Check that out. Check that out in the links below.
We're going for 30 likes on that video, so if anyone can help out, that would really help. But yeah, like, if you look at those reviews, it must be a bloody good film.
Yeah, I'd recommend anyone check it out. Tom Hardy always going to deliver, even in Venom. I think he carried Venom. Venom to me was a really good film, but only because of Tom Hardy. I know he had a bit of a weird accent in it, but I can see past that and see how badass that movie was.
No, Tom Hardy's a brilliant actor.
Probably one of my favorite. Yeah, check him out. Other than Matt Damon, because I like to meme on Matt Damon. We used to have a thing about, I believe it was The Wall,
Matt Damon,
The Great Wall or something. We watched it at college. Me, Jack, and Shay. I think we might have meant to have been at a class at the time. But we watched.
Is that like the one where he's like, it's in Asia somewhere?
Yeah, so it's a fantasy setting, but I think it's meant to be based on the Great Wall of China and everything. But they're defending the wall from like hordes of these beasts. And I really could not tell you the story. It was the most contrived shit I've ever seen in my life. But whenever Matt Damon came on the screen, we started cheering for him. Oh my god, it's Matt Damon. Don't worry, Matt Damon will save him. It was pretty much a power fantasy when Matt Damon destroyed everyone.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, this one hasn't got as good reviews, I must say.
Yeah, I would not check out The Great Wall unless you want a meme on Matt Damon.
But I do remember when this was actually like announced. Actually, yeah, that's funny. I remember this now.
Yeah, it just I think I fell asleep partway through. The only other movie I've done that on is the Assassin's Creed movie.
Almost every actor is Asian apart from like 4 people, and they're all the main characters.
Yeah, they get to be the saviors if they're not Asian, because that's not racist.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
Apparently, the Chinese love Matt Damon films, though. Apparently, he's got a big audience there, and so they just sell anything.
He should go on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah, he should. I didn't know, but yeah, he has a huge Chinese following that he likes to make movies for. I just wish they were better movies.
Yeah. On from film, what would you say, if you had to pick one, would be your favorite TV series?
A long time ago, I would have said I would have said Game of Thrones, but now definitely not. Yeah, season 8 kind of let the whole ship sink. I'm not even sure now. I'm sure there's some good series I've seen in recent time. I know The Boys was good. I'm not sure if I'd call it my favorite of all time, but The Boys on Amazon.
Yeah, with Carl Urban.
Yeah, and they have the idea of all of the superheroes are evil, and the boys who have no superpowers have to sort them out.
Yeah.
It's really corrupt, and I love that show, but I'm not sure if I call it the best ever. I think I need something to come out and like wow me enough to
I guess
remember it.
It doesn't have to be the best ever. It just has to be your favorite right now, one that you would recommend to the listeners / viewers.
Yeah, I'd recommend The Boys, or if you're into anime, I'm watching ReZero right now, and I think that's pretty good. So yeah, those would be my 2 recommendations right now.
Well, funnily enough, you should say that. Let's talk about anime.
Sure.
So, I know for a fact, obviously, we've already slightly mentioned it before when we're talking about like Jack just coming in blasé, wearing his anime shirts, like not giving a shit about what anyone thought. You have people coming round to your house to sort something out. You've got to take down your posters because you're like, why? Oh no! So obviously, like you're a big fan of anime, as am I. As is everyone really these days. It's become really mainstream, I think.
Yeah, it's getting that way. It used to be really niche, or maybe you were a nerd, but now nerdy things are being more appropriate in society. I think people are adopting it. I mean, Studio Ghibli's been normalizing it for ages with their films.
Yeah, some fantastic movies they've produced.
Yeah, Spirited Away.
Hayao Miyazaki's an absolute visionary.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's say like you're watching ReZero now. I haven't watched that myself, but I know it's got some very good reviews. What would you say is one of your favorite anime you could suggest to people?
Well, so I really enjoyed Baby Steps. It's a sports anime about a guy who finds out he's at the end of his high school life. I think he's maybe a second year, so sophomore high school, and he realizes he's never done any sport. He's never hung out with that many people. And he doesn't have much of a social life going, and he's really worried about it. But the one thing he's really good at is studying. He's always top of his year.
He's really clever.
Yeah, because he's got nothing else going on. Like he has no hobbies, and it's really starting to bother him. So he decides he's going to pick up tennis. I don't know why it's tennis. I think it's just the first thing he saw, and he stuck to it. And it's all about how he enters into tournaments and gets better at playing tennis. There's a bit of romance in the side and everything. I like that it's not a main plot point. And I like that the female character has a life of her own going on. She's not just a side character that does nothing.
She's not just the end goal.
Yeah, she's not just like the prize of the end goal. That's exactly right. And
how did you find Baby Steps? Did you like find out the manga originally, or did you watch the anime straight away?
I watched the anime straight away, but I checked out the manga afterwards. It's the same as the way I found out about Kingdom, which Shay will probably tell you is his favorite anime or manga of all time.
Well, the podcast listeners have heard a lot about Kingdom from Shay.
he's waiting for any sort of merch to drop in the UK. He's really on that one. I think he'll probably look around in some shops if we get
he would get a plane ticket to China.
Yeah, he wants to go check out China as well. It's all set there. It is a really exciting manga. I would recommend anyone checks that out. But Baby Steps, if you're into something a bit more wholesome, happy-go-lucky. Tsukigakure as well. It's the same sort of thing. 2 shy kids that are in school, and it's all their little romance. It keeps you interested. I just got really put off eventually. I don't know if it's just the way I'm viewing it has changed because society has changed. But I can't watch stuff like Kenichi, The Strongest Disciple, and shows like that. You know, Kenichi is a kid who wants to get stronger so he can ask out this girl, and he gets stronger after every fight. The fights are really cool, but it just felt like the girl who's meant to be extremely strong was extremely weak, and she was just a prize to be handed between everyone. And most of the plot points were just pervy old men spying on them and voyeurism, and it was really disturbing and off-putting. I actually had to drop that because of that. So
Yeah, you can sometimes find like some of these things go a little bit overboard.
yeah, I mean, I don't mind your old, every anime has that hot spring episode where the guy's trying to peek over to the other side of
Yeah,
the hot springs, and that can be funny.
Even if it's like a straight up ecchi, sometimes that can just be quite funny.
Yeah, it can be quite funny that way. But when they try and portray it in these certain ways and make people look weak and stuff like that, it can be really disturbing because it makes me think, am I pathetic for watching this?
Well, like
am I pathetic that I'm enjoying
it? Yeah. Like, what am I doing? No, but for sure.
Yeah.
Is there a manga that you are currently reading or plan to read very soon?
Oh, I feel really bad about it, but I'm reading a manga called let me try and find the name of it. Cohabitation with My Fiance.
Okay.
And it is straight up trash. I love it. It's last chapter came out 5 days ago.
Oh yeah.
It's by Im Dal-young, and he wrote Freezing. So anyone that knows Freezing knows it's complete ecchi trash, and I love it. Basically, he just has
Is this a web manga?
It's basically a webtoon. Yeah, it's it is a Korean manhwa, and it's about this kid who's set up with a fiance 10 years older than him because their parents agreed on it when they were younger. And it's getting to be pretty good. I'm enjoying where it's going, but it's the sort of thing where they throw in a load of plot twists all the time.
That's good though.
It can be a bit, yeah. It can be a bit domestic girlfriend like. I'm not sure if anyone watches Gigax videos here, but I'm surprised no one's tried the coma strat yet. I think that'll be their next one. Try and get into a coma so that you win the romance war.
Any other manga which you've read recently which you would recommend people to check out?
The beginning after the end. It's really the Korean ones. The Korean mangas are starting to pick up the pace. I think a lot of Japanese ones starting to slow down a bit. You're getting less releases.
Awesome.
They've all got less chapters. Yeah, I would suggest people check out the beginning after the end because it takes a really cool look at the there's a genre of isekai that's coming out now where people are being reborn, and they get to start over their life from the beginning. And this is one of those. He's born with new parents into a different world, and he has to discover his way along. It's a bit of a power trip towards the end of the first season, but I know the second season's just come out, so it's the best time to pick it up.
No, it looks really cool, actually. I might have to check that one out myself, actually.
Yeah, you should. You'll get into it quite quickly.
Yeah, because that's the thing, though. I don't really read that much, and I should read more.
It feels a lot better reading Korean manhwa. I know this is going to sound like heresy, but because it's coloured and because it reads left to right.
Jack just bursts into the only 3 people allowed recording booth. He just breaks his way in. He's like, "What?"
Yeah, he might. I hope he doesn't hear this. But, manhwa's better than manga.
I'm going to send him the YouTube link to the exact moment you say that.
Oh no, I'm going to get a message soon.
No, that's awesome.
Anyway.
And that's the thing, like, because some people really love like cartoons and things, or used to maybe watch anime when they were younger and haven't really got back into it. But if they weren't so much wanting to do that, I'd definitely recommend people to check out some manga or some online webtoons because you can find some really cool things.
Yeah, it's also really nice that you don't have to put in a lot of time. You can sort of read a few panels in between, your day at work or on your break. And obviously there's no noise or anything, so you can just sit in a corner reading to yourself. It's quite peaceful.
So moving on from the silver screen, let's talk about sport. Would you say you're a sports fan?
Esports. But other
Hey!
than yeah, rep esports, guys. But other than that, I do the basics. I watch the World Cup and the Olympics. I don't really keep up with much sport outside of that. I used to keep up weirdly with curling.
Okay, yep.
So I don't know why, but this was when I was at my old job before the job I'm at now, working in IT. Me and a guy called Harry who worked there would just have curling on the TV all the time. It was the most exciting shit you could ever watch.
Curling is actually so exciting.
It is because I'm sitting there like, oh no, you got to throw it a bit harder than that. Come on, come on, and then they are scrubbing away with all their might.
It's it's very bizarre like kind of sport really, but it's so exhilarating that because of how strange it is. And
I've watched hundreds of hours of it, and I still don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it just looks bizarre, but deep down there must be there's so much skill going into that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the sweeping in front of it really does, if it slows it up or speeds it down. And I've been watching hundreds of hours of it, so you'd think I'd know.
Right, quick Google. Would you say that you support a certain team, or if you don't now, did you used to support a team when you were younger?
See, most of it's just nationalities when we used to watch it. So I think I always just supported the country that I wanted to win. So usually it was England, but also anywhere close to England. So if it was France, I'd probably support them over the US just because they're sort of our side, you know?
Yeah. It's
they're on our side of the sea. Yeah.
Closer geographically. Absolutely. No, that's cool. Talking of esports, is there any particular esports players you particularly like, or esports orgs that you support in a way?
I have a love-hate relationship with Cloud9. It's because they never win, but they always have the most interesting games to watch. Or at least they do in Dota. I don't know about their other games. Fnatic too. Always exciting, but never win.
Yeah, Fnatic and Cloud9, especially between 2014 to 2017, were just probably the two biggest CS:GO teams.
I remember Fnatic in CS:GO had quite a lot of controversy. I mean, they did some glitch. Was it them that did the glitching?
Yeah, so there was the Olive Meister boost on the map. Overpass? Yeah, I think Overpass. I might have got that wrong, but I think that is.
I've watched that back a few times. It was quite impressive how they found it. Considering it's a single pixel in there.
They weren't being arseholes. They were just exploiting something that's wrong with the game. I guess people could say it's out of competitive spirit, but I'd also argue they're using their competitive spirit to try and get the edge.
I mean, I think it should have been. I think it should have been allowed. I think it should have been allowed, and they should have removed it because a similar sort of thing happened in TI with Na'Vi, who were the biggest Dota team at the time. Obviously, they're completely gone now from the. Well, they're almost completely gone from the scene. But they did a hook on Pudge, his character that can hook enemies to him, and then teleported him to the base with another ability at the same time, and you could hook someone all the way into your fountain, which just basically insta-killed them.
Oh my god.
But they abused it and it was allowed. So I'm not sure that they should have punished Fnatic for that one. Or at the very least, it should have just been a rematch rather than any punishment for Fnatic.
I feel like sometimes these the teams or the organisers behind the tournaments might be a little bit bamboozled by all the fan reaction, maybe sponsors being annoyed and things like that.
There was a similar reaction in Dota. There was you hook a person into base. How is that balanced? How is that allowed? There was a clip that went out from one of the players where he was complaining about that. He wasn't even one of the players on the enemy team.
I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but also the other team were just also being really clever, really.
Yeah, it was abusing something that was already in the game. It'd been in there for a while, and really, it's on Valve to fix it if it's going to happen. At the very least, it should only be a remake rather than people getting banned. That's as
Yeah,
far
for
as my knowledge in sports goes, is esports, really.
Yeah, which is absolutely fair enough. And I think it's something good to talk about, really, because people, even like massive gaming fans, don't really know about esports that much.
Yeah, that's true.
But now, on to probably my favourite topic, which I'd like to talk with you about, especially for this podcast in particular, and that is music. So,
Yep.
you're somewhat of a budding musician yourself, is that correct to say?
Yeah, I mean, I write songs in my spare time. My brother plays the guitar. He's getting really good at it. And I do eventually want to create some sort of album. I created one when I was maybe 12 years old, but I didn't have much to do with it. I just sang the lines, and there weren't any original songs on there. So it'd be exciting for me to get something started, take something to a producer and ask them to mix it.
Just give them the mixtape and see what happens.
Yeah.
Who would you? Yeah, go on.
Sorry, no, it's okay.
Well, I was going to say, like, you see in history, it seems to happen like that quite a lot, where a budding new musician will shoot their shot and it actually works out for them. In that similar vein, you're doing similar things with wanting to create your own stuff. Who would you credit as being your biggest musical inspiration?
Ooh, so I don't listen to his music as much as I used to. In fact, I listen to completely different genres than what I actually make. But I say my biggest inspiration was probably Ed Sheeran from his early days.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I think I must have been about 12 years old when the song A-Team came out, and then his first album, which I bought on release day. So I was a big Ed Sheeran fan. I had his EP with Little Bird and all those songs on it, and that was way before his first album. I never knew he was going to get this big, as big as he is now. He's probably the biggest artist in the world right now. Maybe up there. Maybe Drake is up there too.
Yeah, I'd say it's a trio of it'd probably be Drake, Ed Sheeran, and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, true.
They're probably the three big dogs.
Haven't heard much from Taylor Swift recently. She only really releases singles now.
Well, she's actually just released a new album.
Has she?
Yeah, she what's it bloody called? And it's like broken all records for an album.
Oh, Folklore. I'm so dumb. I actually listened to the song with Bon Iver recently. Bon Iver's really amazing.
Yeah, I think it broke some sort of record. Let's see.
Well, the thing is, Bon Iver really never does his deeper voice on his songs. He's always in falsetto, so you never really get to hear him sound like he does on that song. The song's name is Exile.
Yeah, so it sold it sold over 846,000 albums in the first 24 hours or something.
Wow. That is huge.
And it's Taylor Swift's record-breaking 7th #1 album, which is really impressive. Well done, her.
That is impressive.
And a cool thing about Taylor Swift is the fact that she writes a lot of her own stuff.
I will have to check that out. I didn't even know that she writes a lot of her own stuff. I knew that she was writing her own stuff back when she was doing the folk songs, the country music.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers. What was the name of the song? Romeo and Juliet one.
I actually don't know.
Oh, it's killing me.
You do a quick Google. Podcast listeners love a quick Google.
We love a quick Google. Let's go for a quick Google.
We're going for a quick Google, listeners. Oh,
Love story.
ASMR typing. We love it.
We love a bit of ASMR. I like Michael Seeley. Helps me go to sleep.
Go to
Taylor Swift love story.
Love story.
Romeo save me. That one.
So there's those dulcet tones. It's beautiful. You definitely should. I would love to see you actually do something in terms of your musical.
Go all out just once.
I will pose you a question in a little bit about that, but before I get there, you were saying like obviously Ed Sheeran's a completely different genre to the songs that you like to write and like to sing. So, what sort of genre of music is it that you love to sing?
He is similar to what I like to sing. He's not similar to what I actually listen to these days.
Right.
And I'm trying to write songs now that aren't similar to him at all. I'm trying to get into emo rap, things like that. I'm not sure if those genres will stick around forever. I'm not sure if it's just a phase that sounds nice right now. But emo songs they sound really, really good to me. I think it's a lot easier for someone who's better at singing to get into than rap music because you would only be able to do hooks. I mean, right now I'm listening to songs like anything by the Kid Laroi, if anyone knows of him.
Sure.
And who else? Machine Gun Kelly. I mean,
Yeah, MGK.
yeah, MGK's made a comeback.
He's so underrated, man.
He is. He's made a huge comeback after he got bodied on his diss track.
Yeah.
But he's a lot better. Anything after Hotel Diablo onwards is really good. Anything before that, in my opinion, isn't that great. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff I'm looking into right now. I've been coming up with some different tunes and stuff. They're recorded. They're on my phone. They're on my PC. I've been trying to learn FL Studio so I can try and make music in the future.
And like in terms of like your early development in singing, like what sort of where did you start at? Did you sort of start out singing something like Frank Sinatra, you know, some of the old Rat Pack music, or did you go straight into rap?
Interesting fact. Firstly, this isn't the interesting fact, but I didn't like rap music until I was about 16 years old.
Okay.
And I got introduced
That's interesting.
by the rapper Russ. And
yep.
After that, I went into sort of like harder rap because he was like soft rap. And that got me into it because I could hear the melody. And then I started to understand that there was a beat and a flow to it. And then I started to like beats and flows. So I was listening to stuff like, I can't remember the name of the guy, but it's the song. Bitch, you thirsty? Please grab a Sprite. It's whatever. Harder rap. I got into harder rap. I like Tupac and Biggie and all that stuff. But early on, you said how I got into music. I could speak from about the age of 1. So when I was 1 year old, we did a car ride over to Cornwall, which is about like 4 hours away or something.
Yeah.
Maybe not that much. But I spoke the entire way there, complaining most of the time. And there is a recording of me at 1 year old listening to the song I'm in the Mood for Dancing. And I sing along, I'm in the mood. I didn't do the rest of it. It's good. I'm in the mood.
That's amazing.
At 1 year old. So that must have been my favorite song. Prior to Numa Numa, of course, the best song.
You started early.
Yeah. It's I remember specifically I was in the car about 6 years old, and this is where I started to want to be good at music. I was singing along to Let Me Entertain You by Robbie Williams.
Yep.
And my mum called up my aunt to show her that I could do this vibrato effect with my voice. And I was so proud that that my mum and aunt were giving me attention.
Explain what that is if people don't understand different vocal techniques.
So vibrato is sort of where you hear a vibration in someone's voice. So sort of towards the end of it, you can hear it break down into this sort of up and down vibration. I could try and do something, but it probably won't work out. So come on, let me entertain you. I've only had 6 hours sleep, so forgive me.
I was going to say, you could easily edit something out, but that was bloody brilliant, mate.
Edit it out so no one gets to.
yeah. We'll just cut that part, and that could be in the DLC on the Patreon.
Yeah,
No, I kid. I will leave that in, of course.
it'd be easier to do in something like a Nickelback song. You hear them do distortion, but they also do vibration in their voice when they do long notes.
Yeah.
But
It
yeah,
almost,
I could do
gives
that.
it a natural bass and reverb.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to add in, and having that experience as a kid was what made me want to get better at music in general.
Did you have anyone else in your family who was specifically musical? Obviously, apart from your brother now, but when you were younger.
To be honest, not really. Well, my dad sings a lot. My dad's good at singing. We don't have anyone that sort of plays an instrument, which was what first came to mind when you asked the question. But yeah, my dad likes to sing a lot, and I would sing a lot with my dad. And even now, if he starts singing, I'll join in.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big help. But I could never get my dad to go on a stage. I could never get him to go up and actually try singing on a stage.
I mean, in terms of that, like, would you say yes to going on something like Britain's Got Talent or X Factor or The
I've
Voice?
actually been on there once.
You have?
Yeah, I've been on Britain's Got Talent one time, but
As a competitor?
Yeah, you don't see the judges when you go into the first audition.
Oh my god! I think I've yes, we have spoken about this, but no. Tell the viewers.
Yeah. So you don't see the judges when you go into the first audition. You just go into this little room and there's a camera set up and there's no one else in there. And then you're asked to, do your performance, whatever it is you do. And I sang, what did I sing? I'm Yours by Jason Mraz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was probably about 11 years old at this time, and I think that's probably why I didn't get through the first round. Because I think everyone gets through the first round if they watch you.
Right.
And
Okay.
they just get you there so that they have something to show from the auditions before you go in.
Would you have another crack at it?
I don't know. I thought about going on The Voice or the X Factor. I think Britain's Got Talent's already got way too many singers on it. I don't think I'd feel a bit guilty going on it when I know that it's not for singers.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a like oddities show, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, one year a dog won.
Yeah, you want to see people like magic tricks or a yo-yo, like a professional yo-yo artist and stuff.
A really good like magician.
Yeah, it's always cool to see.
But no, The Voice would be awesome to see you go on that. Have Will.i.am turn around.
Or not.
Pull over paper or not. You just get no turns. Great.
Yeah. Oh, I'll see you guys. You can't hear me.
So thanks and bye. No, it'd be worth it though. I do think.
Yeah, it would be fun to go on just for the experience.
And as well, like, I do personally think you're very good, and I think if you're able to put more time into doing it, I think you can achieve something. And that's why when I move on to this next point of questioning, as we are coming towards the end now, I'm sad to say. But alas, it doesn't mean it's the last time we have to hear your beautiful voice. You can be back for future episodes or if and when we do our massive group episode. But Matt, Limnir, if I can say that, what is in the future for you? As with many of our contemporaries, they're doing lots of different things, whether it be YouTube, streaming, podcasting, etc. This is my plea for you to start a YouTube channel. Put yourself out there, man.
That's an interesting idea. YouTube channel might be doable. I can't stream with my current setup, sadly. But YouTube channel is probably doable. When me and my brother have gotten something together, I'll post a song, no editing or anything, on there, just as a first video, see what happens.
How did Justin Bieber happen? He uploaded a video to YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, that's how he
I
got
didn't-
scouted. His mum recorded him singing, uploaded it to YouTube, and some
Usher saw it.
label saw it, and then they like referred it to Usher, and then he did some other stuff, and then they did Baby together. And now look at him.
I didn't know that. I would love to be Justin Bieber.
The new Justin Bieber. Hey,
Yeah, here we come, guys.
the anime Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I'm gonna only sing songs about anime titties. Jack will be so proud of me.
Yeah, he would. Or you just sing all Justin Bieber songs, but in Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, for me, hopefully I get into the Navy. I would still be probably at home for about 3 months of the year, and in that time, I like to make some music and upload it to YouTube. If I ever get anything on there, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for that, and obviously I wish you the best of luck with your application towards the Navy. I really do. You know, it's a shame that things were all delayed because of all the crap going on in the world.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
you know, good luck with all of that.
Thank you.
I will be certainly leaving any links to social media in the description which you wish me to promote. And before we say our goodbyes, is there anything or anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my cat, Tibbs, because he spent all of yesterday on my bed and he never normally hangs out with me. So please come home, Tibbs. Papa loves you.
Yay! Let's go.
Let's go.
Right, well, thank you everyone for listening. Give Limnir a very warm goodbye. This has been Archer's Be-Cray. I'm back, baby. And goodbye.
Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. I you were trying to fight the voices in my head. Visions of you racing, playing. It's all inside my head. Fucked up too many times. Some things are better left unsaid. Save yourself. If I said that we can make it, I'd be lying to myself. Wishing I could hit reset. Bad decisions I regret. Now you're talking to your ex. Yeah, I'm sad, I know, like ex, baby.
Slicing on the pussy like a better lace. Got bigger ass than a Cadillac. Niggas buying the drip, they got cataract. Fuck my baby mama on the motherfucking yoga mat. Hard to find